What's up, everybody? I'm Rick.
And I'm Anna.
And on this channel, we have a bucket list of 101 things that we want to do in our lifetime, which compose of various things, from traveling to reading books to playing games. And one of those items is watching 101 years of Academy Award Best Picture nominated movies. So movies that were nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Award from the very first Academy Award up until the 101st Academy Award. Right now we're on our second year, and we've just hit our first road bump. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
It started.
Yeah. So usually we would do, a spoiler-free discussion and then spoiler discussion, but in this case it's going to be impossible to do either of those because we haven't seen the movie. We have not seen the movie that we're supposed to talk about today, which is The Patriot, a movie that came out in 1928.
And the reason why we didn't see it is because the movie is actually lost.
Yes, or semi-lost. There are like footage of it,
right.
but there is
no complete copy.
Complete copy in existence of this movie. And even the little footage, it's sparse and not easily accessible to the public. We did, however, see the trailer for it. Because it's online.
Which was an experience in itself, I would say.
Yes. But still, we wanted to make a video about the movie because I thought it was a good opportunity to not only talk about what we thought of that trailer, that very short 3-minute trailer, and also the synopsis of the movie that we know what it is about, but also Lost Movie, just a short conversation about Lost Movie. This should be a shorter video than what we would usually do because, of course, there is no movies to talk about. We're going to do, for the first part, as we usually do, just facts about this movie. Even if it's lost, we still know.
Right, we do have some information.
Yeah, exactly. Movie came out August 17th, 1928. It was directed by, and you guys are going to have to be lenient with me with these names because there's a lot of names on here that... I'm not even sure where to start pronouncing them. So Ernest Lubitsch. I'm gonna say Lubitsch. I'm gonna go with that. Which is the director of the movie. He was actually nominated for Best Director for this movie, and throughout his lifetime was nominated twice more for Best Director at the Academy Award. Never won, but did get honorary Academy Award for his distinguished contribution to the motion picture. The cast, in the main role, Emil Jannings as the Czar Paul I, which when we watch the trailer you recognize.
Yeah, I did, and I was a little bit surprised because I really didn't expect to actually recognize an actor
from that time.
But watching the trailer, I realized that I've actually seen also some footage of him in another movie. He played in Faust, and he played the Mephisto there. And I did see parts of that movie, as part of a German class that I took at some point. But yeah, it was surprising that I actually recognized someone.
That's interesting. I have yet to recognize anyone in any of the movies we've seen. Other part of the cast, Florence Vidor as Countess Ostermann, and Lewis Stone as Count Pahlen. I'm gonna say Pahlen.
Probably.
Yeah, let's go with that. The synopsis of the movie, even if it's lost, we know what the movie is about. It's actually a biographical movie of the life of Emperor Paul I of Russia.
Such a historical movie.
Yeah, based on the real events. So even if we didn't have the synopsis, we could just check out his life and figure out what it was about. Movie was very well received. It won the Academy Award for Best Writing at the time, and was nominated for Best Actor. Louis Stone was. Best Director, like I just said. Best Art Direction. And it's actually the only silent movie to be nominated for Best Picture during that year.
Okay.
Because we're already starting to get into those talkies, those sound movies. And it's also the only silent movie to be nominated for Best Picture from that time up until 2012 when The Artist was nominated. And again, The Artist is kind of a outlier because there is that one scene in the movie where they talk.
Right.
But that's...
So you would say this is the last genuine silent movie
Yeah, to be nominated for Best Picture.
For Best Picture. So...
And we didn't get to see it.
Yeah, too bad.
The movie was actually remade, so I'm not even sure the remake is, because I looked for that too, and it wasn't like easily...
I remember that we looked for the remake and we couldn't find it.
So
either.
there is a French remake of the movie, also very hard to find. So that there goes our luck.
And not to be confused, because I think there is another movie that is also called Patriot, but it's a whole nother story.
It's a whole other thing. No.
Right.
Yeah. The French remake was in 1938, so still very old. Let's go into a synopsis. We just said that it was a story of the life of Paul I, but the more general synopsis is that in 18th century Russia, the Tsar Paul is surrounded by murderous plots and trusts only Count Pahlen. Pahlen wishes to protect his friend, the Mad King.
Okay.
But because of the horror of the king's act, he feels like he must do something to remove him from the throne. So it's a man who is torn between his friendship for the king and the country that he feels like he must protect. Hence the name, the Patriot. And these are historical facts, of course, so if you know anything about the life of Paul I, you know where this is going. Like we said, only pieces of these movies are left. Some footage here and there. There's a trailer. You can watch the trailer on YouTube. That's where we found it. But all in all, the movie is lost or semi-lost. It cannot be watched in its entirety. And so I thought we could talk about that. Movie preservation and... when you heard for the first time, like, we were looking for that movie and you realized, like, there's no way we can find it. How did you feel?
Actually, I was really disappointed. Because, well, first of all, I really want to, get through this list of movies that we have and, if possible, not miss any.
Yeah.
But in some cases, it's not up to us. Like, the movies just don't exist anymore. It makes it basically impossible to actually...
But this is why when we introduced it, we had an asterisk saying...
Yeah, obviously. Like, there's nothing that we can do here.
We will watch all the movies that we can find,
Yeah.
So, that is possible to find, This movie doesn't exist in its entirety.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do about that.
So, I'm actually wondering... Yeah, first of all, I was wondering, maybe... it does exist somewhere, maybe someone says it and, like you said, maybe doesn't even know.
Yeah.
Or doesn't even know, how valuable it would be to the cinematic world today.
Yeah.
And yeah, it gets you thinking, really.
It got me thinking more in terms of like movie preservation, and you think that because this is an old movie, and so your reflex is to say, it's old, like it's to be expected. Back then they didn't know that maybe this would have a historical importance. And you think, movies today, they're preserved automatically. We have tons of DVDs and they're online and blah, blah, blah. But that's not necessarily true. If you don't make a genuine effort to preserve culture, there is a risk that even...
it will get lost.
Movies that are made today, in a few hundred years, someone is like, I want to watch Avengers Endgame, but all the copies are lost.
Right. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine that only. Never thought that could actually happen, to more
modern,
recent media.
Even when I was on Wikipedia earlier looking at list of lost films, there are some that are much more recent, from the 50s, from the 60s.
Okay.
And you would think wow, they even lost those, So...
It feels like today it wouldn't happen anymore, with the internet being there.
Yeah.
It feels like once they've been on the internet, they'll always be there. Mm-hmm. Like there's no way to erase them completely or to lose them completely. But I mean, you never know.
You never know. Nothing is permanent, and so you must always make like a genuine effort. In the terms of for the movie industry must make, I feel like, an effort to preserve the important movies, like, and that's also where it becomes complicated because you see the important movies, so which one deserves to be like preserved, and which one like you don't care if they're lost. But that's,
and then how do you know which ones of them will actually have a historical importance? Like, do you know what people in 100 years will look for when they look at movies from the past?
And there is no way to know really, which is why you should keep as many of them as possible. But lucky for us, there is, like, this movie is not completely lost. There are some movies that I know on the list further down that are completely lost. This movie, there are some footage still available. And we watched that footage in the form of a trailer.
Yes.
What did you think of that trailer?
That was very interesting. If ever I've seen a trailer for anything out there that just says, "Look at me, I'm so good," that would be
the trailer was basically screaming, "This is the best thing since sliced bread," and you want to see this movie.
The most amazing actor, the most dramatic actor of his time. The
perfect motion picture. Oh, yes. Music from a Russian chorus, and like everything was like exaggerated. I haven't seen the movie, so maybe they're right. Maybe it's the best thing since
for the time. Maybe it was something extraordinary.
Yeah. And really, they can keep claiming it because no one can know.
Exactly. But yeah, you mentioned something earlier with the Russian chorus, and there were a few other elements like that. I feel like for the time, like, I don't know how, like, what kind of efforts they were making at the time to make, a movie feel more genuine. But I feel like that would be something, impressive to people
that's
at
a
the
nice
time.
touch,
like, you bring something from that country, that, like, you want to represent a story from that country. So
because the story happens in Russia.
Yes, that was
it's a very nice touch. But that's all we saw that movie. From that trailer, we can only say that it looked interesting, but no more. The trailer kind of spoiled the end a little bit, but these are historical facts.
It's one of those trailers, and I feel like a lot of them back then were like that. Where if you watch the trailer, you get it all.
Yeah, but that's all we can say about this movie that we haven't seen. Next time, though, we will watch a movie and talk about it in more details because the next movie is not lost. Which is good.
Luckily.
Yeah. But there are some, you guys be ready, there are some more lost movies down the road on this journey that we've taken and that you've taken with us. Or if you haven't, maybe it's time for you to subscribe and get on the journey bus with us. If you like that video, don't forget to like it and hit the notification bell to be notified for when the next video comes out. Leave a comment telling us about lost movies. Do you think it is possible that movies made today can also be lost, or is it safe because we have the internet and they will never be gone?
Also, if you have a box of something that you don't know what it contains in the attic, check it. Maybe you'll find this movie.
Yeah, exactly. And then send it to us so we can watch it and we'll send it back to you afterward. Don't worry. So thank you everyone who passed by and have a nice day.